Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the class 6 on 500 plus MCQs. This is the free rankers batch for your RBI Grade B examination 2025. Let's quickly start the discussion. A very good afternoon to all of you. Okay guys, let's start. The very first question for today. What instrument SEBI has approved for the monthly futures trading? What instrument SEBI has approved for the monthly futures trading? It was approved in the month of June, right? It was approved in the month of June. Very good afternoon, Prashant. Yes, Aditi. Electricity futures is the name of the contract which was approved. NSE received the SEBI's approval for monthly electricity futures. Good evening. Good afternoon. Okay, evening कहाँ से हो गई भाई अभी तुम्हारी? चलो. So इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्यूचर्स यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट का नाम है. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ है. प्लीज डू रिमेंबर, हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी क्वेश्चन इन योर एग्जामिनेशन. ओके, हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी क्वेश्चन. So now I think the last time when data was released related to SDQI, right? What is SDQI? Supervisory Data Quality Index, right? It was released for March 2025 and now we are having the recent data which was published on 24th of September 2025. The data is of June 2025 month. So the old data which was related to March 2025 is completely irrelevant as of now, right? You need to remember the data of the June 2025 for your upcoming RBI Grade B examination. वो वीडियो बनाते टाइम भी I told you अगर नया डेटा रिलीज हो गया तो फिर हमको वो पढ़ना पड़ेगा, right? So this is the brand new data that we need to study, right, for examination. So RBI has created a supervisory data quality index. How well is the quality of our data? Of what data? The data which is being furnished by public sector banks, private sector banks, foreign banks and small finance banks, right? So this is in terms of accuracy, timeliness, completeness and consistency. These are the four parameters that we need to ensure whether they are of very well quality, whether they are of high quality or not. So the SDQI score of Scheduled Commercial Bank has improved in June 2025 as compared to the March 2025. What is the new SDQI score? So the new SDQI score for the Scheduled Commercial Bank is 89.9. Please do remember, 89.9 is the new data, right? If I talk about the highest data, then Small Finance Bank have posted the highest SDQI score as of now of 90.7, right? Followed by Public Sector Bank and Private Sector Bank. It's a tie for both. 90.0 is the score, right? 90 is the score. Then we are having foreign banks last के अंदर, right? So the highest SDQI score as of now is of Small Finance Bank, right? And you can have a look at the year-on-year growth. As compared to the last reported data for March 2025, 89.4 was the data, and now we are having 89.9, right? So that's the new data which we need to remember. Please do remember. And one more thing that you need to note here is no entity has scored below 80 pointer. In June 2025, no entity has scored below 80 pointer. So again, that's a good news, right? The data is improving. The data is improving day by day. Here we can see that between 70 to 80, earlier there was one entity which was between 70 to 80 and now we don't have any entity below 80, right? क्या क्या डेटा याद रखना है मैं वही बता रहा हूँ. देखो डेटा क्या याद रखना है, एक तो शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक का DQI स्कोर आपको याद रखना है, राइट? उसके बाद विच इज द हाईएस्ट अमंग द कैटेगरी. सो स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक का डेटा हमको याद करना है, हाईएस्ट अमंग द कैटेगरी, राइट? उसके अलावा व्हाट यू कैन डू इज जो इसमें से हाईएस्ट कंट्रीब्यूटर आ रहा है, लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली चेक कौन सा आ रहा है. कंप्लीटनेस के अंदर 100% आ रहा है, राइट. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग दैट यू कैन रिमेंबर. अगर मैं हॉरिजॉन्टल लेवल कंपैरिजन करूं फॉर द शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक, सो यू नीड टू नो हियर कि वी आर आउट परफॉर्मिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंप्लीटनेस, राइट. वी आर आउट परफॉर्मिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंप्लीटनेस हियर. गुड आफ्टरनून मुकुंद. राइट, तो कंप्लीटनेस का डेटा सबसे हाईएस्ट है शेड्यूल्ड कमर्शियल बैंक्स में. हॉरिजॉन्टल लेवल कंपैरिजन करूं तो स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक का DQI स्कोर यहाँ पे सबसे हाईएस्ट है. सो प्लीज डू रिमेंबर दिस पर्टिकुलर लेटेस्ट डेटा. ठीक है, मार्च वाला भूल जाओ, जून वाला अब याद रखो. दिस इज द लेटेस्ट पब्लिश्ड डेटा. एंड प्लीज डू रिमेंबर वी डोंट हैव एनी एंटिटी एज ऑफ नाउ बिटवीन 70 to 80. अर्लियर वी यूज्ड टू हैव वन एंटिटी. नाउ वी आर हैविंग ऑल द एंटिटीज बिटवीन 80 to 90 and more than 90, right? Here you can see we are outperforming in terms of completeness. All the banks are outperforming in terms of completeness. Yes, Aditi. हाँ, फिर से SDQI आ गया. अर्लियर इट वाज मार्च 2025. अभी जो आया है वो जून 2025 का है, राइट. अप्रैल में जून वाला. सो आपको रिसेंट वाला याद रखना है. ठीक है, दिस इज द डेटा. तो चार्ट फॉर्मेट मैंने लगा दिया है ताकि आप यहाँ पे चार्ट से याद रखो, ज्यादा बेटर है. नेक्स्ट वन. Can you tell me which semiconductor company partnered with Tata Elxsi to drive innovation in the India's electric mobility sector? Option D. Option D. Okay, option D is the correct choice here. Next one. On MSME Day 2025, a special postage stamp was released to mark the 25 years of which Credit Guarantee Trust. 25 years of which Credit Guarantee Trust. It was Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSME, right? Next one. One prominent infrastructure firm, very, very important, recently become the first one to issue the ESG bond on a major Indian exchange. Which company has launched India's first ESG bond listed on the NSE, National Stock Exchange? Very, very important for your upcoming examination. Tell me the correct answer here. It was L&T, right? It was L&T who has launched India's first ESG bond listed on NSE. A very, very high probability question. Okay, so we have learned that L&T launches India's first ESG bond on NSE. I think we have learned this in June end, right? June end के अंदर हमने ये चीज याद करी थी. 500 crore they have raised through a non-convertible debenture, right? So don't go into too much detail of this news. Just a quick understanding of which entity has released what will be fine enough, right? Next one. The Department of Commerce amended the SEZ rules 2006 to promote the semiconductor and electronic component manufacturing. What is the new minimum contiguous land area requirement for the SEZ for these industries now? Option C, 10 hectares, right? Option C, 10 hectares. Next one, RBI has released its final guidelines on the project finance provisioning norms. Important. Project finance, RBI circular. For under construction projects, what is the eased provisioning requirements for general project finance? It is 1%. It is 1%. Next one. Digital payments have become a key focus in the financial inclusion and operational efficiency in India. Which bank was recently awarded by the Department of Financial Services for excellence in digital payments? Can be important. Can be important. Which bank was recently awarded by the Department of Financial Services for excellent digital payments? The correct choice here is IndusInd Bank. Okay, option E, IndusInd Bank. For the excellence in digital payments, IndusInd Bank. ठीक है. Next one. The Ministry of Heavy Industries launched the online application portal for the scheme to promote manufacturing of the electric passenger cars in India. What is the minimum investment mandated for eligibility under this particular scheme? Minimum investment mandated for this particular scheme. Next one. Who has been appointed as a new chairperson for the PFRDA for a 5-year term effective from 20th June 2025. Option C is the correct choice, right? Mr. Shiva Subramaniam Raman, right? Yes, option C. Through which instrument did L&T raise 500 crore in the ESG issuance? So L&T is the first company to raise such a kind of ESG instrument. Through which instrument it did? Yes, it was non-convertible debenture, right? I think only 2-3 minutes back only we discussed. It was a NCD, non-convertible debenture. Perfect. Next one. Investor classified under the FPI route often have specific obligations under the Indian regulations. SEBI has offered certain regulatory relaxations recently, right? To the FPI investing exclusively in the government security. If I am a FPI, foreign portfolio investor, and I am exclusively investing in the government securities, now will be classified under which category? Exclusively in government securities. Option D, right? G6 FPI. Government securities FPI. So SEBI has eased compliance norms for the FPI investing only in the government securities market. Very, very important. Okay, again, very, very important. A very high chance that this can come in your examination, right? So FPIs that are exclusively investing in the government securities will be classified as GSFPI, right? GSFPI is the new terminology which is now given here. So please do remember this news, right? Then central bank buys a stake in the future general. We have already did that in the last session. Next one. For the under construction projects with aggregate lender exposure up to 1500 crore, what is the maximum individual lender exposure which is allowed? Under construction projects with aggregate lender exposure up to 1500 crore, what is the maximum individual lender exposure which is allowed? Yes, it is 10%. Okay, option D, 10%. Very good. FDI, foreign direct investment, is a critical indicator. What was the India's global rank for FDI inflows in 2024 as per the recently published data? So the data was published in June month end. What was the rank of India globally? I'm talking about the FDI inflow 2024. So the rank was 15th. Okay, option B, 15th. Acha, we have done the project finance directions. Can you tell me which of the following is the correct sequence of the phases in project as recognized by the RBI project finance direction? Important. This is directly from your circular project finance. Guys, the correct choice here will be option C, design phase. First there will be design phase, then you will construct it, and once the construction is done, you will be in the operational phase. Okay, option C, very good. Next one. As per RBI definition, the operational phase of the project begins from which point in time? The operational phase starts from which point? The operational phase of the project will start from which of the following point? From the actual date of commencement of the operations, right? Actual DCCO. Option C. Perfect. Option C is the correct choice. Next one. Which insurance company recently launched India's first state-wise health insurance plan can be important for your phase 1 exam? State-wise insurance plan. Now every state is having different data related to insurance claims and policies. Yes, Bajaj Alliance. Option E. Okay, option E. Next one. Which of the following measures are part of this initiative by the PSU Bank to boost the MSME credit? So in June end, PSU banks have taken certain initiatives to boost the MSME credit here. Which of the following is a measure that PSU banks have taken to boost the MSME credit? Option A, identifying 50 high employment MSME clusters for targeting the lending, right? 50 high employment MSME clusters. Next one. This is regarding the generic credit scores. The GCS system, generic credit score system, is being specifically designed for which of the following category of the borrower? Important. The GCS system is being specifically designed for which of the following category of borrowers? Option B, rural borrowers and the priority sector applicants. Okay, rural borrowers and the priority sector applicants. Option B is the correct choice here. Next one. Which of the following type of mutual fund investment structure we call it when a mutual fund is investing in some other mutual fund? When a mutual fund company is investing in some other AMCs, then what kind of structure we call this? A simple one. And guys, mutual fund related news are quite in limelight in the last 10 months is what I can say, and I have seen multiple fund of funds coming into picture. That's why I have drafted this question. Not a part of your directly finance current affairs, but yes, important. Fund of fund, right? Fund of fund. Perfect. Aditi, Athyarth and Mukund. Ayush Niveshak Sarthi, please read this particular news as well. Ayush Niveshak Sarthi, investor facilitation portal launched for the Ayush sector. So, Government of India has launched this particular portal, right, recently in June 2025 only. So, this is regarding Ayurveda, Yoga, right, Unani and homeopathy and all for the betterment of this particular sector, and it is a single window digital interface for the investors. So please do remember this particular news as well. Next one. To enhance security in the digital investment transaction and project to protect the investor from fraud, SEBI has introduced a new support tool. This tool allows the user to verify the recipient's payment credentials like UPI, IFSC code, bank account before initiating a particular transaction. Yes, that's correct, Mukund. SEBI check. SEBI check is the new initiative where investors can verify the UPI ID, IFSC code and other payment credentials. Perfect. What is the standard UPI handle format to be issued by NPCI after the verification? So the standard UPI handle is, everyone in the comment section quickly, what is the standard UPI handle format? It is @valid. Okay, @valid. That's the standard format that they are using. Not so important this one, but this one can be very, very important. SEBI check. A very high probability question. Okay. So SEBI has introduced verified UPI safeguards just to prevent the fraud. Right? Please do remember, @valid is the name and launch of SEBI check tool. Is the support tool behind this particular news, SEBI check tool. Okay. So there is a particular format in which you need to structure your UPI ID so that if I am sending you the money, right, to a broker and any party related to SEBI, so I'm quite assured that my money is going to the right party, right, to an authorized party. Not so important, still we will cover this. With the revised basic custom duty on crude sunflower, soya bean and palm oils, what is the recent announcement? What is the revised basic custom duty? So they have transferred these items into the 10% slab. Okay, 10% is the correct choice. Not so important, but still we will cover this as a medium to low probability one question. Which group of investor is expected to benefit significantly from the strips recently allowed by the state government in the state government securities, right? Mukund, are you talking about creation of some kind of playlist or a new video related to SEBI compilation? Okay, playlist. So definitely I'll ask my team to have a playlist for the SEBI related things as well. Okay, I'll note it down somewhere. Otherwise I'll just forget. Let me just note it down. Okay, I'll definitely ask my team for that. Okay guys. Acha, what will be the correct choice here? Which group of investor is expected to reap maximum benefit because of this particular decision of allowing the stripping in state government securities? Any idea? So this was from an article, okay, an Economic Times article that we did in the finance current affairs session. The correct choice is insurance firms. Okay, can be important. Anything related to stripping. वैसे तो हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी क्वेश्चन है कि स्ट्रिपिंग किस में अलाउ किया है, स्ट्रिपिंग के रिलेटेड सारी जो इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स दैट वी हैव स्टडीड, बट this is also a secondary question that can emanate from this particular news because it was a part of your Economic Times article, right? Insurance firm will be getting a significant benefit. Why? Because let's suppose I'm an insurer, I'm doing insurance, right? So I need financial instruments of different maturity, so I can also invest in strips, right, of these state government securities. Like I can pick any interest related strip, I can pick any principal related strip, so that's why can be important. Tell me the maximum residual maturity allowed for a security to qualify for strip. Maximum residual maturity. Maximum residual maturity for a security to qualify for strip. Say for example, if there is a security, I want to strip it, I want to do stripping, I want to segregate the interest and the principal component. What is the maximum residual maturity this security should have if I want to strip it out? The correct choice is 14 years. Important. Okay, very important. Mark this question. What should be the minimum outstanding amount for a security to be eligible for stripping into strips? What should be the minimum outstanding amount of a particular state government security if I want to apply stripping on it? So that's 1000 crore. Okay, that's 1000 crore. Very good, everyone. 1000 crore. Option A. Next one. What regulatory compliance must be eligible securities meet for strips to be allowed? There is a particular regulatory compliance that at least you need to be a bare minimum regulatory compliant if you want to apply stripping in your security. The security should be SLR compliant. SLR compliance is required, right? Perfect. Option E. Next one. What do the separated components of strips trade as in the market? Let's suppose there is a security and I have segregated the interest as well as the principals. Let's suppose there are 10 interest payments, so I have now 10 more securities and there is one principal repayment, so I can say that now I do have 11 securities. How these 11 securities can be traded in the market as a zero coupon component? They will be issued at a discounted price and they will be redeemed at the face value. That's what the meaning of zero coupon component is all about. Directly from a news related to stripping in state government securities, a very short kind of question for your examination. It can come in phase 1, it can come in phase 2, right? I don't know कौन से phase में आएगा. High probability है कि आएगा जरूर. Okay. Next one. Which platform will now be used to recombine the stripped securities into the original bond? Let's suppose there was a security. I applied stripping and I segregated this security into multiple new securities. Now what I'm doing is I'm recombining it into again one security. What kind of platform will be used to recombine the stripped securities into the original bond? It is the none other than eCobar platform of RBI, right? Perfect. Next one. Which type of device will RBI upcoming financial apps be compatible with? RBI is working on this. Which type of devices will RBI's upcoming financial apps will be compatible with? It will be compatible with feature phones, right? वो बटन वाले phones होते हैं ना, उससे भी compatibility RBI करने वाला है, considering the rural population as well, using the feature phone. Next one. Which Indian state is in focus of ADB's $109 million loan for skill development and employability? Important for your phase 1. None other than Gujarat. Okay, option A, Gujarat is the correct choice. Next one. Which operation did the RBI discontinue amid the ongoing liquidity surplus? Not so important. Okay, it was part of, I can say, June month. So RBI discontinued the daily VRR auctions. Why? Because there was already a liquidity issue, right? I mean, by issue, I mean excess liquidity issue. Okay, excess liquidity issue. That's why RBI discontinued the daily VRR auctions. Next one. Which two institutions are collaborating to strengthen the cyber security in India's digital payment ecosystem? Can be important for your phase 1 exam. Can be important for your phase 1 exam. It is option C, IDRBT and NPCI. Okay, option C, IDRBT and NPCI. Next one. Which institution raised 100 million multi-currency social loan recently? 100 million multi-currency social loan recently can be important for phase 1. Can be important for your phase 1 examination. Any idea, anyone? Yes, Credit Access Grameen. CAG, Credit Access Grameen. Option E, perfect. Next one. How much does NABARD plan to raise through the deep discount zero coupon bond? What is deep discount zero coupon bond? I'll be issuing this bond at a deeply discounted price and I'll be redeeming it at a face value. Right? Can be important for your phase 1 exam. The correct choice is 19,500 crore. Okay, 19,500 crore. Next one. Under the RBI's liquidity adjustment facility, very simple. What are the floor and ceiling component of the LAF corridor? There is a concept of LAF corridor, right? In between there is our repo rate. We have a ceiling. We have a floor. Right? Now liquidity adjustment facility, I will say, is in quite limelight. There was an internal review report as well on this and so many news coming around. So that's why this can be important. Otherwise not a part of your dynamic syllabus. It's more of a static in nature concept. Still, you need to know that SDF and MSF is the one, right? SDF is your floor and MSF is your ceiling, right? And your repo rate is somewhere in between the MSF and SDF. Next one. Which of the following statement about the directive are correct? To channel more credit to the productive sectors, the PSU bank have been directed to implement a multi-strategy. Which of the following statement is correct? Not so important still. We'll be covering it. It was a part of June end month. All of the above were correct. All of the above were correct. I think this particular thing we have already covered in a question, right? Next one. During a liquidity crunch, the overnight rates are expected to raise towards which of the following? Let's suppose there is a liquidity crunch. Then the overnight rate will be expected to raise towards which of the following? This is the corridor. This is the corridor. Now let's suppose there is a liquidity crunch. So what will happen? People will start aggressively borrowing and the rate will go towards MSF, right? Towards the ceiling. Towards the ceiling. Yes, here we are not concerned about the repo rate but the overnight rates, right? That's why रेपो रेट के ऊपर जाएगा. एमएसएफ आपकी इमीडिएट इमरजेंसी फंडिंग होती है, वैसे भी रेपो रेट के ऊपर ही होती है ना. नेक्स्ट वन, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Which index is constructed using select indicators from the money, from the government security, from the corporate debt, equity and forex market? Very important. High probability question, a very high probability question. The correct choice is Financial Condition Index, option D. Okay, Financial Condition Index. A financial condition index incorporates different indicators from different financial markets like money market, like government securities market, corporate debt market, equity market, forex market, right? It is directly related to your financial market chapter, a static portion, plus this news is dynamic, right? Very important for your examination. High probability question. Okay. So we have covered this concept here in our finance current affairs session related to the index, right? Financial condition index, FCI. Financial condition index. Please do remember this one. No problem at all. Even if you guys are not able to recall it right now, that's completely natural. Okay. मैं भी 6 महीने पहले का कोई न्यूज़ पढ़ता हूँ तो मेरे को भी एकदम से याद नहीं आता जब तक अगर मैं मल्टीपल रिविजन नहीं दे रहा हूँ, है ना. तो मुझे याद आए नहीं आए उससे उतनी बड़ी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. आप लोगों को याद आना चाहिए. एग्जाम आप लोगों का है, राइट. एग्जाम मेरा नहीं है, पर हम लोगों को भी उस टाइप से पढ़ना पड़ता है कि हमारा एग्जाम आने वाला है, राइट. आई ऑल्सो हैव टू वेक अप इन द मॉर्निंग, रीड एटलीस्ट 3-4 महीने का न्यूज़ एवरी डे. मैं ट्राई करता हूँ कि मैं पुराना न्यूज़ पढ़ पाऊँ ताकि उसमें से देख पाऊँ. सो डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे जो भी 2-3 महीने का रिसेंट न्यूज़ होता है, देखो जो लास्ट मंथ का न्यूज़ था, ओके, वट एवर द लास्ट मंथ डेटा वॉज, वो आप लोगों को मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द कैंडिडेट्स को याद होगा. उससे उतना कुछ खास कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज मिलने वाला नहीं है. उससे पहले का कुछ लोगों को याद होगा, 80% लोगों को याद होगा. उससे पहले का 50% लोगों को याद होगा. और उससे पहले का हार्डली 20-30% लोगों को याद होगा. सो दैट्स वाई अगर आपका रीसेंट डेटा स्ट्रांग हो तो आप पुराने डेटा पे भी थोड़ा जंप कर सकते हो. पिछले 6 महीने का ट्राई करो कि आप बहुत अच्छे से कवर कर लो, ठीक है, एक बार के लिए फॉर द टाइम बीइंग. और टाइम मिलता है तो और आप थोड़ा और पीछे जा सकते हो, 2-1 महीने. अब कितने लोग पूछते हैं कि सर कितना पीछे जाना है, तो दैट डिपेंड्स. मान लो आप कोई जनवरी से पढ़ रहे हो, फरवरी से पढ़ रहे हो, है ना, तो जनवरी फरवरी में एटलीस्ट जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ थी वो आप पढ़ सकते हो. पुराने डेटा में से भी वही चीज़ आती है जो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती है एग्जाम के लिए, राइट. सो कोई सेबी रिलेटेड चीज़ थी, IRDAI, PFRD, RBI रिलेटेड चीज़ थी, तो उस पर आप ध्यान लगा सकते हो. छोटी मोटी चीज़ों को लेट गो कर सकते हो. सो ये स्ट्रैटेजी रहती है, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट वन, अकॉर्डिंग टू द RBI, लोन दैट डो नॉट क्लासिफाई एज प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंस विल बी रिजॉल्व्ड अंडर विच काइंड ऑफ फ्रेमवर्क. सो आपके पास 2 रास्ते हैं, या तो आप प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंस में आ जाओ. अगर नहीं आ पा रहे हो, आपका लोन ही क्लासिफाई नहीं हो रहा है एज प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंस लोन, सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज you can follow the framework of, everyone in the comment section, which framework? Yes, prudential framework, right? Prudential framework, very good. Next one, which specific decision of manufacturing firm is most influenced by the balance sheet channel of monetary policy transmission? This is from a article of Economics Time, right? Which specific decision of manufacturing firm is most influenced by the balance sheet channel of monetary policy transmission? So it's more of a question which is not at all related to your dynamic finance. It was a dynamic news only, but I have just taken the crux of that particular item. Though a low probability question, I don't feel that ये एग्जाम में आना चाहिए. Still 1% जो चांस होता है, right? So in this series, it's not like that I'm taking only just the important questions and all, because nobody knows what can be important for your examination. And in RBI, there is only one trend, that there is no trend, right? That's why we need to always keep our coverage wide. Investing decision, right? Investing decision, why? Because if you are a manufacturing firm, you need to invest heavily in different machineries, in different channels. So that's why it is most influenced by the balance sheet channel of monetary policy transmission, right? Because the rate cuts will directly impact your decisions. Next one, what percentage of adjusted net bank credit must the SFBs, small finance bank, allocate strictly to the RBI prescribed PSL select subsectors? फाइनेंसिंग का मतलब होता है लोन लेना, है ना. फाइनेंसिंग का मतलब लोन लेना होता है बेसिकली. मुकुंद को फाइनेंसिंग करवानी है मतलब मुकुंद को लोन लेना है, ओके. 40% is the correct choice here, okay. 40% is the correct choice here. Next one. What is the current state of global economy as described by the RBI governor in a recent address? So he described that as a flux. Okay. We can see here in the RBI bulletin June 2025. Now I don't know how much it is important as of now for your examination, because we are already having the new RBI bulletin, right? अच्छा, इसके अंदर किसी को कुछ इश्यू था क्या? लिमिट कम किया था प्रीवियस टारगेट से, भले इसको एक बार और चेक कर लेंगे. ओके, लेट्स कीप इट फॉर द रिव्यू पर्पस. मेरे को लगता है ये यहाँ पे ठीक ही है. फिर भी इफ यू से, लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली चेक इट. ओके, और आई कैन इवन रिवर्ट बैक इन द कमेंट सेक्शन आफ्टर दिस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन, पर मेरे को लगता है ये ठीक होना चाहिए. ओके, 40% ही है ना, 40% ही है. ठीक है, दिस इज फॉर द. अच्छा, इशू कहाँ आया मैं बताता हूँ. दिस इज नॉट अ नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन, दिस इज अ ट्रिक क्वेश्चन. तभी वहां पे इशू आ रहा है. ट्रिक यहाँ पे ये है, सेलेक्ट सब सेक्टर्स. ठीक है, सेलेक्ट सब सेक्टर्स, राइट. सो आपकी 60% वाली बात सही है, पर इन दिस क्वेश्चन दे आर आस्किंग अबाउट सेलेक्ट सब सेक्टर्स. ठीक है, तो जब आप वापस से एक बार वाला न्यूज़ पढ़ोगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा कि सेलेक्ट सब सेक्टर्स तक आपको कंपल्सरीली यहाँ पे 40% डालना पड़ेगा. अलोकेट स्ट्रिक्टली टू द आरबीआई प्रिस्क्राइब्ड. नाउ अब समझना क्या होता है. देर आर सो मेनी PSL सेक्टर्स, देर आर डिफरेंट PSL सेक्टर्स. आउट ऑफ दीज सेक्टर्स देर आर सेलेक्ट सब सेक्टर्स, जो आरबीआई बोलता है यार इनमें तो आपको पैसा डालना ही है, राइट. सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज मोर अबाउट दैट सेलेक्ट सब सेक्टर्स एंड not about the broader limit of the SFBs. Okay, so this is a trick question, so please do remember. Okay, वहां पे आपका broader में 60% आता है, यहाँ आपका 40% है. Okay, next one. Who is the dominant investor in the certificate of deposit instruments in India? Now this was again a part of your news. Who is the dominant investor in the certificate of deposit, CD investor? It is the mutual funds as of now. Okay, option D. Again, it is from your Economic Times article. Next one. Which category of banks relies more on the certificate of deposit issuance as compared to the other categories? It is the public sector bank, option B. Okay, public sector bank, important. This one and the previous one as well. Okay, both these questions are very important. Okay, so again I have taken this from the RBI bulletins only. Next one. What is the revised overall PSL requirement for the small finance bank? Now they are asking us the overall limit, that's 60% of the ANBC or COB, right? That's 60%. हाँ, पब्लिक प्राइवेट के अंदर कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है, तो व्हाट आई विल सजेस्ट कि आप एक चार्ट बना लो. देखो, एक तो ये वाला डेटा हो गया, ठीक है. एक आपका फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट के अंदर भी थोड़ा बहुत डेटा है. उसके बाद आपका BSR के अंदर भी थोड़ा बहुत डेटा है, राइट, स्टैटिस्टिकल रिपोर्ट वाला. सो यहाँ आपका करेक्ट आंसर 60% हो जाएगा. ठीक है, ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट वन. इन व्हाट काइंड ऑफ कैटेगराइजेशन वी नीड टू गिव इट? We need to give it a classification of all other assets 100% risk weight. Okay, option D. Option D, all other assets 100% risk weight. So this is from your review of PSL norms, SFBs. मेरे को लगता है एक क्वेश्चन इसका डेफिनेटली आना चाहिए. राइट, आपके फेज 1 के अंदर हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी क्वेश्चन है, फेज 2 में भी आ सकता है। ऐसा नहीं कि सर आपने बोल दिया था फेज 1 में कैसे नहीं आया, है ना, तो पेपर मैं तो बना नहीं रहा हूँ भाई। ओके, तो इट कैन डेफिनेटली हैपन। ओके, what I can do is I can teach you different concepts. I cannot teach you your question paper for your upcoming examination always. Okay, so on a review of it, it has been decided that the additional component of 35% will be reduced to 20%. So now what you need to do is overall PSL target will be 60%, right? Out of that, 40% you need to allocate to the subsectors, right? To the select subsectors. Rest of the 20% आप अपनी मर्जी से इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो। सो 60 का 40-20 यहाँ पे होने वाला है। ओके, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ठीक है, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। नेक्स्ट वन, द RBI's न्यू प्रोजेक्ट डायरेक्शन, finance direction will apply only to the projects achieving the financial closure or on or after which date. Correct choice is 1st of October 2025, ठीक है, तो ये आपका परसों से अप्लाई हो जाएंगे, ठीक है। 1st of October 2025 इज द करेक्ट चॉइस ईयर। ओके, सो अगर आपका फाइनेंशियल ईयर क्लोज, आपका फाइनेंशियल क्लोजर हो चुका है ऑन और आफ्टर 1st of October 2025 से, सो ये आपका अप्लाई हो जाएगा, ठीक है। तो ये आपका RBI का जो भी एग्जाम होने वाला है उसका पहला दिन, उस मंथ का पहला दिन 1st of October 2025, ऐसे करके आप याद कर सकते हो, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट वन, व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम एक्सपोजर अलाउड टू अ ग्रुप ऑफ कनेक्टेड बोरोवर्स और पार्टीज अंडर द एग्जेम्पशन प्रोवाइडेड बाय RBI? मैक्सिमम एक्सपोजर allowed to group of connected borrowers or parties under the exemption provided by RBI. It is 25% of your tier 1 capital. ठीक है, 25% ऑफ योर टीयर 1 कैपिटल। भाई लोग इसको एक बार से वापस से फटाफट से रीडिंग मार लेना जब टाइम मिले, ठीक है, 25% है। नेक्स्ट वन, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कंट्रीब्यूशन हैज द RBI exempted from being counted towards the bank exposure limit can be important. Again, it was in the RBI website. Okay, so contribution made to NABARD, NHB, SEBI, Mudra or any other specified institution. RBI has exempted these contribution from being counted in the exposure limit. Okay, please do remember this one. Next, a project is considered as project financed if what percentage of minimum, what is the minimum percentage of funding is expected from its own cash flows? Very very important, super duper important. अच्छा, मैं अगर पेपर में कुछ वैल्यू ऐड कर पा रहा होता तो मैं सबसे पहला यही वाला क्वेश्चन पूछता। रीजन बीइंग, ये बिल्कुल बेस है, राइट। बहुत ज़्यादा अंदर घुस के इस वाले सर्कुलर से पूछना कोई बहुत ज़्यादा सेंस नहीं बनता, क्योंकि एक अच्छा स्टूडेंट ऑन द जॉब भी ये सब चीज़ें सीख सकता है, राइट। इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज अबाउट क्रंचिंग नंबर्स एंड ऑल, बट इट्स मोर ऑफ हाउ द बेस इज स्ट्रॉन्ग. So the correct choice is 51% here. Okay, option D 51%. So ये easy और complex project finance direction का एक sweet spot बनता है जहाँ से question आ सकता है. Next one. What is the provisioning requirement for a substandard asset classified under the construction phase of the commercial real estate residential housing as per the directions? Provisioning requirement for a standard asset. This is the standard asset. This is not at all an NPA. which is in the construction phase of commercial real estate, residential housing. That's 1.25. Okay, that's 1.25. Important. What was the projected capital expenditure from greenfield FDI in India, indicating robust investor sentiment? Greenfield FDI, 1110 billion dollar, right? 1110 billion dollar. Next one. Globally, what was India's rank in attracting the greenfield commitment in 2025? रिटेल हाउसिंग 1 ये कमर्शियल रियल एस्टेट है ना, तो एक बार वापस से चेक करना, ये कमर्शियल रियल एस्टेट है, ठीक है। एक बार मैं भी चेक कर लूंगा वापस से, एक बार मैं भी इसको रिव्यू कर लूंगा। ग्लोबली व्हाट वाज द रैंक इंडिया का, तो 4th रैंक था यहां पे, 1% ही है, मैं चेक कर ही लेता हूं, ठीक है। मे बी यहां पे ड्राफ्टिंग इशू हुआ, लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली चेक। अच्छा, तब तक आप लोग इस वाले का आंसर दो। ओके, सो आई एम पेस्टिंग अ चार्ट एज वेल हियर, ठीक है। सो ये आपका कमर्शियल CRE का हो गया 1.25, ठीक है, और ये CRE RH का आपका 1% ही है ना, दैट्स करेक्ट, कि CRE RH का आपका 1% ही है। सो व्हाट आई कैन डू हियर इज आई एम जस्ट एलिमिनेटिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर RH हियर, ठीक है। सो मैं इसको कमर्शियल रियल एस्टेट का बना देता हूँ। अब इसका आंसर यहाँ पे करेक्ट हो जाएगा आपका 1.25, ठीक है। सो वेरी गुड मुकुंद, है ना, यहाँ पे इसका करेक्ट आंसर हो जाएगा आपका 1%, है ना। 1% आपका RH का हो गया, रेजिडेंशियल हाउसिंग का, एंड CRE का हो गया 1.25%, ठीक है। और अच्छा, हमने इसको ऐसा भी पढ़ा था कि सर ये ज़्यादा क्यों होता है, तो देखो कमर्शियल रियल एस्टेट के अंदर जो रेजिडेंशियल हाउसिंग होता है वहाँ पे उतना रिस्क नहीं होता एज कंपेयर टू द कमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट्स, राइट। कोई शॉप बना रहा हूँ तो ऑब्वियसली वहाँ ज़्यादा प्रोविजनिंग रिक्वायरमेंट रहेगी, और अगर कोई हाउसिंग अपार्टमेंट बना रहा हूँ तो वहाँ उतना रिस्क नहीं रहता स्टैंडर्ड एसेट पे, दैट्स व्हाई वी चार्ज ओनली 1%, ओके। सो इधर मैंने क्वेश्चन के अंदर चेंज कर दिया है, तो अभी वाला क्वेश्चन आपका एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट हो गया है, ठीक है। अच्छा, इसका $24 बिलियन आंसर था, ठीक है, $24 बिलियन आंसर था। नेक्स्ट वन, विच कॉम्पोनेंट अकाउंटेड फॉर द मोस्ट इन इंडियाज आउटवर्ड FDI इन May 2025। अभी अगेन डेटा पुराना हो चुका है May 2025 का, आपको नया वाला डेटा आपका यहाँ पे ध्यान होना चाहिए। विच बैंक हैज पार्टनर्ड विद TCS टू मॉडर्नाइज इट्स ऑपरेशंस थ्रू द डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन? कैन बी इंपॉर्टेंट, कैन बी इंपॉर्टेंट। Option D, Council of Europe Development Bank. Okay, option D here is the correct choice, Council of Europe Development Bank. Next one, in PPP infrastructure projects, how much of the land or right of way must be possessed before the fund release is permitted here? How much of the land or right of way must be possessed before the fund is released? It is 50%. It is 50%. Okay. Next one. What is the maximum permitted cost overrun while retaining the standard asset status for a project? Maximum permitted cost overrun मतलब जो कॉस्ट सोची थी उससे थोड़ी सी ज्यादा लग गई, राइट? So I want to retain my standard asset status. So there is a flexibility in this particular direction. There is a flexibility which is 10% of the original cost plus. तो आपकी cost से 10% ऊपर भी चली गई अगर cost, तो no worries, you will still be a standard asset only, right? In terms of project finance directions. Next one. What is the new extended deadline for government security FPI to disclose any kind of material change as per the recent SEBI relaxation? It is 30 days. Okay, it is now 30 days. ठीक है, 30 days. 30 days. ओके अच्छा 21 डेज कहाँ पे था? वो आरबीआई के अंदर था कि उतने दिन हमको ओपन रखना पड़ेगा कंसल्टेशन के लिए. अच्छा 14 डेज से 7 डेज हमारा वो वी डबल आर ऑप्शन, वी ट्रिपल आर ऑप्शन का टाइमलाइन रिड्यूस करने की बात करी थी किसी रिपोर्ट में, है ना? यहाँ पे हमारा कितना था? 30 डेज था. ओके नेक्स्ट वन. Which of the following categories of the individuals are now allowed to invest in the G6 FPI under the SEBI framework? So यहाँ पे NRIs, origin Indian origin and resident Indian ये तीनों यहाँ पे allowed थे, right? Option D, NRI, OCI and resident Indian ये तीनों यहाँ पे allowed थे. Under the relaxed regime of G6 FPI, which restriction still applies? What restriction is still applicable? Rest of the restrictions they have waived, but a particular restriction is still there. The restriction is LRS, Liberalized Remittance Scheme and Global Fund Limits को आपको अभी भी यहाँ पे फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, ऑप्शन सी. नेक्स्ट वन. फॉर द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम परमिटेड डेफरमेंट ऑफ DCCO? डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट ऑफ कमर्शियल ऑपरेशन. भाई नहीं कर पाया कमर्शियल ऑपरेशन कमेंस, तो कितना डेफर कर सकता हूं? उसकी मैक्सिमम पीरियड क्या है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट के लिए? डेफर कर भी दिया तो भी मेरा क्लासिफिकेशन क्या रहने वाला है? स्टैंडर्ड एसेट रहने वाला है. तो इसकी मैक्सिमम पीरियड क्या है? इसकी मैक्सिमम पीरियड है 3 years फ्रॉम द ओरिजिनल DCCO. जो आपकी ओरिजिनल डेट थी उससे आप 3 साल तक डेफर भी कर देते हो, स्टिल यू विल बी एबल टू मेंटेन अ स्टैंडर्ड एसेट classification. This is from your project finance direction, can be important. Okay, what is the percentage of CD issuance accounted by the PSU banks over the 2-year period? So it was 69%. Okay, not so important, but still I have covered this one. We need to remember that यहाँ PSU banks काफी strong performance there in terms of CD, right? Which one of the following is not correct? So ये बहुत सारे statements यहाँ पे आपको given है जिसमें से आपको identify करना है कि इनमें से कौन सा correct नहीं है. So this will be a homework question for you guys. Later on, let me know in the comment section which of the following is not correct. Okay, so that's all from my end for today, guys. Thank you so much for attending the session. See you soon tomorrow with a lot more questions. अब हम 1 महीना और पहले जाएंगे, मई वाले मंथ के क्वेश्चंस करेंगे. ठीक है, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली टुमारो हमारी यही टाइम पे क्लास रहने वाली है. ओके गाइज, सो थैंक यू सो मच एंड ग्लैड दैट यू आर सो कंसिस्टेंट इतनी देर से. सो दैट्स अगेन. एंड प्लीज डू द रिविजन गाइज. ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ लेक्चर देख रहे हो या PDF डाउनलोड करो और फटाफट से उसको 15 से 20 मिनट में पढ़ने का ट्राई किया करो. वाई? बिकॉज because we are doing revision, so it is possible. Okay, ऐसा कर सकते हो कि जो पुराना मंथ का डेटा है उसके अंदर से आप जो मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट डेटा है वो आप पढ़ लो। अगर कुछ लोग होते हैं जो हो रहा है कि भाई सर हमसे 3-4 महीने का ही हो रहा है, उससे पहले का हम नहीं कवर कर पा रहे, तो क्या कर सकते हो, डायरेक्टली सेशन देखो और जो मैं इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें बता रहा हूँ वो कवर कर लो, ठीक है, दैट विल ऑल्सो वर्क। ओके, कुछ लोगों ने प्रिपरेशन भी लेट चालू करी है, तो डेफिनेटली फिर उनको मैं बोल नहीं सकता कि आप 8 महीने का डेटा पढ़ो, 6 महीने का डेटा पढ़ो। सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज कि आप इंपॉर्टेंट स्टफ कवर कर लो।